Welcome to On the Chain with Jeff and Chip.
Yeah, so I abruptly ended that stream. Oz, what were you just saying about, you say something about Netflix?
Oh yeah, I was just recently on Netflix watched the Witcher series. It's like an hour an episode, and I literally sat there and watched 8 because I've got like 3 days off from work, which doesn't happen these days, and I like spent 8 hours of a day watching 8 episodes back to back to back to back. So if you haven't seen it, you really should check it out.
It's good, really good. I've been hearing a lot about it.
Yeah, it's super good. And Henry Duval, whatever the hell his name is, I don't know, the lead character in it. He's apparently supposed to be really good. I don't know what else I've seen him in, but he's good in this. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. The second question that I asked that you dodged, Chip, was, so have any of you guys been shot or stabbed?
No. I'm going to go with not yet.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. Wrong finger. That was the wrong finger for Johnny Cash. That was the wrong finger for Johnny Cash. No, man. I've never,
Contrary to popular belief, it's
almost been run over a few times, but
Motor City.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the murder weapon of choice.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Why makeshift?
No, I've not been. So yeah, I got to check out that. What I hate about that, Oz, is like you start watching it when they release the whole season, you just feel compelled. Like when I played, the reason I gave up video games because it was always like one more level, one more thing. I got to do all this stuff, and then like so now they release the season. Yeah, and you're like, I'm tempted to watch them all, all the way through. So, but what would you compare it to? Like, what, without giving any spoilers on The Witcher, what do you think it's akin to? Like a video sort of game?
I guess, I mean, it's based on a video game, but it's kind of reimagining. The video game is based on a couple of different books. It's kind of fantasy. So I'd say it's Lord of the Rings meets Game of Thrones, but with a better pace. Like, it's like each episode actually has something happen. You're not just kind of waiting for someone to show up or something. So it's a short season. It's only 8 episodes, but it felt like, 20 episodes of Game of Thrones, basically.
That's pretty cool.
That's sweet, man. Anybody else see anything good on Netflix? Come on, DNI, you've seen something.
Me on Netflix? Let me
or
see.
Anything. I mean, Amazon Prime. I mean, Hulu.
What have I watched on Netflix? Bad Blood, I think it was, with the one guy that used to be with Sons of Anarchy. I think it was a Canadian show. I saw that one a while ago. I watched the Narcos seasons. Those have been out for a while. Then one of the El Chapo ones. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that's, sticks out though.
Well, it's time to watch anything. I'm always watching YouTube videos.
That's the other point.
Trying to stay up. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to sit down and watch something different than, 3 hours later of YouTube videos. I'm like, okay, there we go.
So if I pose the question, Netflix or YouTube? DNI on
YouTube.
Oz.
Yeah, I just watched I watch hockey highlights. I get caught up on that, the MMA stuff. I come and go when it comes to the XRP thing. So it's like, you binge on that for a little bit, then you need a break, and so yeah, nothing spectacular.
Yeah, for me, it's like horses for courses. So YouTube, if I'm in the middle of, say, a complex video game and I'm looking at different builds for characters, and like Borderlands 3 I got into just recently. So I'll watch videos while I'm, on lunch or whatever, just staring at my phone, or I'll watch you guys, or I'll watch Jungle, or I'll watch Digital Asset Investor, or I'll watch something like that. But when it's the end of the day and winding down, I want to just watch scripted, like anything. The more mind-numbing, the better. You know what I mean? Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, perfect. Like it's just stupid, easy laughter. It's Rick and Morty, The Simpsons, Futurama, all those really simple shows. I'm a massive fan of. How about you? Yeah. What's your preference?
Right back.
I watch almost all YouTube. YouTube. One series that I really like because I like coming to things later. Like, the Game of Thrones, I waited till right before last season and I watched it all the way through, just like crazy binge watch. And what's nice is I didn't have to take 9 years to do it, but also too, I didn't lose. Like what happened 3 years ago? I don't know what happened, and I did the same thing with The Walking Dead, big Walking Dead fan. And I'm looking forward to this new show that they're releasing. It's kind of lost a little bit of steam for me, but even the other Walking Dead show, which is, I don't even know what they call it anymore. But anyway, I like watching that kind of stuff. But Vikings is something that I really love, man. I really like them set. Vikings is last season coming out. I think it started. Yeah, I like the Vikings a lot, man. I think for a TV show, it's really well done and executed. Have you guys seen that, the Vikings? It's just called Vikings.
A couple of episodes of the first season, I think, and then it just kind of I can't even remember why. Maybe it was whenever I was watching it on stopped hosting it or something, but I stopped watching it.
And
But
then there's
I
a
probably
funny
should go
one
back.
that's out of Norway, or there's the Norwegian version. It's kind of comical about the Vikings.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
There's a couple of good shows
Comedy
that
and
come out of
Vikings,
Norway.
weird.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah.
Funny,
But you know what?
funny
On YouTube, yeah, funny Vikings, not serious Vikings. On YouTube,
Vikings, we're Vikings.
I watched
We
that.
love to rob, kill, and pillage.
a
I
Benny
watched
Hill
that first
version.
season of Cobra Kai. How about that? And then
I didn't watch
wanted to go
that
back and watch
Cobra
the
Kai.
second season of Cobra Kai, but now what's his name? Johnny. What I forget his real name, but he died. So
Did he
it's
really
the end
die?
of, it's the end of Cobra Kai.
No, I didn't know he
Yeah.
died. Did he really? What
Yeah, he
happened?
died.
He died a couple months ago. Yeah, maybe a month, 2 months ago.
His name's
Yeah.
Aaron something, I think. But yeah, the one thing I remember about Johnny from Karate Kid is put him in a body bag, Johnny. Like this, the one line from the first movie that, like, whenever I want, like just when someone's about to fight in front of me, like arguing or whatever it is, I'll just get to the corner of the room and just shout out, "Put him in a body bag, Johnny!" Just every time. It's not popular. People hate it, but that's okay because I'm not doing it.
Well,
for
you're
them.
gonna hate it when I go into your stream later, and which is tomorrow morning, and start. And we're gonna see. Yes. Hey, by the way, since we're not on the subject of Pulp Fiction, but since it's in the back of you, so my youngest daughter is 15. She has like this pseudo boyfriend anyway. She's like, Pop, can you go on Amazon and can you get something? I want to get something for this kid. And I was like, well, what is it? She goes, I want to get him a Pulp Fiction poster. And the first thing that popped into my mind is Oz. I was like, Oz would be so proud of you right now. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. And so, oddly enough, we ordered it like 3+ weeks ago on Amazon. We should have probably got it somewhere else. I don't think it still arrived. So she had to like print the picture of it out. And it's the scene with Travolta and Uma Thurman dancing,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was, but I couldn't find the poster that I was looking for. But anyway, that's apparently 3+ weeks. I don't know where it came from, but I think it arrived in my office. Hey, turn around and say hello to that guy and say, what do you think about cryptocurrencies? Ask him right now.
I don't think he's going to do that.
Say, you know anything about crypto?
Come on.
Are those children?
Hey, he was just looking at you, man.
Yes.
Those kids?
Yeah, but
Well,
children.
kids probably know. Oh, they're children?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yep.
eyesight's not really. Yeah. Hey, kids. What do you think about Pulp Fiction? Heard of it?
Go sit in my booth and talk to me about cryptocurrencies.
Hey, heard of weird old dude sitting here
Go sit down.
looking into a
There's a
camera.
No, there's a dog behind us.
A dog?
The dog.
A dog?
That's something we haven't on the stream yet. We've had our dogs.
Interview the dog.
My dog usually starts crying. Luckily, the family's home, and usually he starts whining. As soon as I hit record, he's like, starts crying. I'm like, dude, trying to record a video right here, man.
Right? It's like a German Shepherd or something, isn't it? I'm completely missing.
No, I have one of those Spuds McKenzie dogs. Target dogs. He's
Like a terrier or something?
Bull terrier. Yeah, he's a bull terrier. He looks like it's a bull terrier. But you know what? We did get him. This is kind of weird. Like, so our neighbors got him a little Christmas present. We buy stuff for each other's pets because I don't know. I guess we're not interfacing well as humans. But
Makes what you do in the suburbs, man.
you know what I mean? It's like you do have these sort of weird things. Exactly what you do in the suburbs. So they bought him a light up tie. They bought him a light up tie right here.
There you
So.
go. Oh my God, that's
So and it
hilarious.
blinks. So I had to turn it on for the thing, and there he is right there, right? So, by the way, his name is Maxwell Silver, and they also bought him this is weird because I always make fun of people that do this, but yeah, there he is wearing his
Man,
Actually has a hat too, huh?
he's got a Santa hat on.
Does he also have like a jersey of your favorite NFL team or like?
No, I didn't. No, not unless I would. See, I wouldn't buy that, but I'd put him on it. So I'm like, all right, we'll put it on you. We'll march you around, take a few pictures, and then off it comes. But he just.
You know what you need to do, and I might have some inside pull, but I bet you could have a jersey made with XRP on it. For your dog.
Dog sizes.
Just let you know I was trying to cash, guys. She's on my phone.
that dog needs an XRP jersey.
It does. So wait, what was the Johnny Cash story? You kind of, was it just the album thing, or so when did you guys start talking about Johnny Cash? Why did Johnny?
How did that come up, Jeff? I don't even remember.
Every conversation that we had, I don't know, it was
come on.
interviews. We're talking about we're interviewing a CEO of, I forget.
Block Drive. It was Block Drive,
It was
yeah.
Block Drive, right. That's when it first came up. All of a sudden, Chip's talking about Johnny Cash. I'm like,
no, that's not exactly how it happened, Jeff. Not exactly how it happened.
Okay, then how did it happen, Chip?
It just
I
and then
started
every
asking.
conversation thereafter, it just randomly started coming out. He's like,
So anyway, digital assets, Johnny Cash, and we got to know it wasn't like that at all. No, what happened was
No
I said, hey,
whatsoever.
so what kind of music you? I said, what kind of music you into? And he goes, oh man, I like Jimmy Rogers, and I just watched this cool documentary on the Carter, the Carter family. I'm like, wait a minute, the Carter family, like as in June Carter from Johnny Cash? He's like, yeah. I'm like, boom, Johnny Cash, all in, man. So yeah, so I told the story about, and at the time I didn't know if it was that cool, but it was back in the 70s, went to Toronto, and because I grew up in Western New York, and my dad's like, yeah, we're going to Toronto for the weekend. We're like, what are we going to do there? It's like, we're going to go see Johnny Cash. I was like, who's Johnny Cash? So I was only 12 years old at the time and had the chance to see him, man. We had killer seats, and they had this big production, and the June Carter singers and all the sisters came out. It was like this massive entourage. Back in the day, he might have pioneered the entourage because he had every family member and their brothers and sisters, and there was like 40 people on stage, and people would come on and off, and people were clapping, and it was like my first concert, and that was what thing. And then very next thing we did, somehow someone said something about, somebody say something about Johnny Cash or country? Oh, I know, we were talking to XRP Venture, and he started talking about, I don't know, he says he likes country music, but old school country music. And I said, old school like Johnny Cash?
In that exact inflection, I hope.
No.
Exactly like that. He even stood up with that.
Was that inflection? Was that inflection? It was that body bag, yeah. That's going to be in my head all day long. That's going to be weird.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It's going to be awkward. Go ahead.
So you're a big Cash fan, or it just so happens that it was your first?
I never listened to him. No, it's weird. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. No, I actually do like Johnny Cash. I like the stuff he did with Rick Rubin, reimagining songs, like when he did, some Nine Inch Nails. He did "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
And he did a bunch of cool little things, and it's weird. I mean, when I look at Johnny Cash, I thought he was like super old. I mean, he had a hard life, but man, I looked at pictures of my own man. How old was he? Was he like 90? He was like 71 when he passed or something like that. But he had a lot of hard years on his. Man.
Well, he was a bit of a rat bag. It's like if you find a picture, if you can, Google him, like his first mugshot, he was like, in his 20s, and he looks like he's 35. Like,
right.
And not a good 35 either. You know what I mean? Like he's had some hard yards at 23 years old. Like, but I agree with you. His stuff's amazing, but at the same time, it's one of those things that, like, of all the artists that I would bring up, it wouldn't necessarily be a heroin addict. Like, just when I'm talking to a CEO, I generally avoid, like, Kurt Cobain and Nine Inch Nails and those ones that make people think of heroin, but maybe that's just me.
Well, that's what separates your outstanding channel that you and I do versus what Jeff and I do over here, poking each other in the eye, goofing around. D&I, what kind of music are you into, man? Are you like into opera or polkas or something?
How'd you know?
But he's a Metallica guy.
No, I like, I
fan this video.
I'm sorry. No, I like, classic rock, a lot of old.
What's classic rock to you?
Yeah. Classic rock to me would be like Zeppelin, bands like that. What else? Yeah, a lot of the old goth, dance, EDM. EDM. Yeah, more goth and things like that. So, but I like Johnny Cash.
So I got went to
What's that?
What's that place? What's that down in Detroit? Used to be
City Club. Yeah.
Place.
Every time I go to the
City Club, that was it. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I was there last year. I went there last year. Every time I go there, it's weird, being older and going to a club that I went to 25 years ago or something. And yeah, it's in the basement of an old hotel in inner city area of Detroit, or downtown Detroit, I guess. But it's been open for decades, and it's all graffitied up on the inside, and you'd be like, what? But it's this old traditional Gothic club, and they have, played just the best music. And you go into this big room, and it's all black except for 4 little spot strobes, and that's it. And that's the dance area. You guys been in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
a long time
ago.
I used to go there. Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And we used to go there all the time, yeah, because we'd hang out at the clubs downtown, and then that wouldn't get jumping until like 2 a.m. And then we go
That's
there
right.
about
Yeah,
2
'cause it
a.m.
was after hours. It's an after
Yeah.
hours club. Yeah.
Pretty
So
much, yeah.
I used to
That's
go
when
to
it
the old
gets going.
Shillelagh. Then we go to the City Club after the old Shillelagh.
Yeah, yeah, and people dress up like, you know, like in different costumes,
Clown
year
costumes,
round.
right? Most clown
What's
costumes,
that?
if I remember. Was it like dressed like clowns, right? Happy clowns.
Happy with clowns with fangs.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, it's just all the goth stuff and steampunk now and things like that. So yeah, it's a really cool place. Everyone's real, just everyone does their own thing, and the music's cool, and so yeah.
Miles, what kind of music are you into?
Oh man, the list is too long to go
Let's
through.
get it started.
So my
Johnny
favorite
Cash.
band would have to probably either be Red Hot Chili Peppers or the Eagles,
There we
which
go.
are both very, very different bands when you put them side by side. But I played guitar for years. So, I mean, then you've got like Stevie Ray Vaughan, you've got Cream, you've got Zeppelin, you've got Guns N' Roses, all these guys that made such a mark on music. I'm more of a, when it comes to anything, the thing that I get interested in is the story behind it. The individual, the lyrics, the stuff that they kind of brought to the table and changed. And I think that like Kiss is a massive one that I fucking hate their music. Like I cannot stand their music, but when you actually bring into account what they managed to do for like stage performance and to bring that style of music into the mainstream, make glam metal, without them doing that, it just wouldn't have been a movement. And it was a long movement, man. But yeah, so basically anything. How about you? What are you into apart from Johnny Cash?
Well, most oddly enough, not country, which is that's probably the only country guy I really listen to. But no, I'm a big, huge New Order fan, going back to the very beginning days of pre New Order. You guys know what they're called before New Order? You guys know? You guys are goths? No. Their lead singer committed suicide. No, nothing.
Blank.
Well, I'm drawing a blank right here anyway.
Oh,
but,
you can't remember.
Ian-
I thought that you were asking if anyone knew. I didn't
I know,
think it was
it's-
like a.
I thought we were
Do you
being
guys remember?
quizzed.
Because
know,
yeah, I
me
thought
too.
it was a quiz. Not. Do you guys remember? Because I haven't got anything here.
Come on, you guys, you really don't remember. But anyway, oddly enough, they're doing I was like, it's one of these things. So they're doing which is really weird. They've never done this before, but there's something in Miami. There's something called the Fillmore. It's the old Jackie Gleason theater. And they're doing a 6-day stint, Monday through Saturday, I believe, just every single night. And what's odd is I still do not have tickets to that, which I thought I would. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get tickets and go do this whole thing. But I never, for some reason, I really never did that. But I know I'm a big fan of them. I mean, I think that
Joy Division. Sorry.
Joy Division was it. Yeah, Joy Division. Yeah. The reason that it's really weird. You always look at bands that, like it was the night before the North American tour. So they were starting to get some notoriety, and all of a sudden, Ian Curtis commits suicide. He was 21 at the time. I think he just turned 21. And normally a band would just crumble, but this, bands have a pivot too. They pivoted, became New Order, went into the early days. They tried to do the Joy Division sort of sounding stuff, and they developed their own sound, and they kind of went into their own. But I like some of that stuff. I listen to a lot of new bands. I think there's a lot of new bands like Foles, and there's some cool stuff. Chili Peppers. I actually saw them about a year and a half ago, and my wife surprised me with tickets for, and I hadn't seen them. I've seen them every decade. So I saw them going back the first time in the 80s, 1986. So I saw Hillel Slovak, which was actually really cool. Their first guitar player before he OD'd on what?
It was China White.
No, I think it was a heroin overdose. So he OD'd on
China White.
Yeah, China White. Yeah. So I'm not familiar with the terminology,
He
but
doesn't know the lingo.
Brand names
not as
there.
familiar as you are. And then so I've seen it with every guitarist. So now this last one with their latest guitarist, and it's kind of cool how that's been a revolving door, and it's also contributed, I think, a large part to their sound. So I'm big Chili Peppers back from the beginning. Fun story about that. I remember being in college. I'm an old guy. I'm older than all you guys. But anyway, I was in college, and I remember going down to the record. So Tuesday is when new albums came out. There was this obscure show, and there was nothing on late night TV back in the day. There was something called the Alan Thicke Show. And if you know Alan Thicke, he's a Canadian guy. He started on that show, Family. What was the name of that silly show in the 80s or 90s? Anyway, he had some silly one of these family shows.
Yeah, with
Deceivers.
With Kirk Cameron and all that. He was on that. So that's really where most people know him from. So I go into the record store the next day, and I'm like, hey, man, and weirdly enough, Alan Thicke's like, hey, it's Alan Thicke show. We got a new band. They're from LA, and they're gonna put up. And the Chili Peppers came on. I was like, what the is this? And I started watching them. I'm like, what the? It's something you didn't expect to see on this lame ass TV show. It was just playing in the background because it was the only thing on, right? And Chili Peppers come out acting crazy and wild. So I go down to the record store. I'm like, dude, and I wrote it down, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm like, hey, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Red Hot Chili Peppers. He goes, what is that? I go, it's a band, man. It's a band. Do you have it? He goes, no, I've never heard of them. I'm like, yeah, but I saw them last night on the Alan Thicke show. He goes, who watches that show? I'm like, I watched the show. And he goes, so some dude is literally unpacking the new, and this is a cassette tape. He pulls it out. He goes, this is Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I'm like, boom. So it came fresh off the press. I grabbed it first time at a record store, and boom. That's the story there. Back in the day, I was a big U2 fan.
Yeah.
They kind of lost their way a little bit. I like the
little bit, a lot of it.
Well, they put out a couple. They put some decent stuff out, I think. I don't know, Jeff.
Musically, they're great, but as human beings, Bono's a giant douchebag and he should drown. But I'm not going any further than that.
Wait, who's this? Bono? I saw Bono.
Giant douchebag.
So I saw Bono at a he's a little bit out there. So I was at a startup conference. This is before they moved it to Portugal. But anyway, I was at a startup conference, and I started way back, and every speaker I started moving down at the time. I was with my co-founder. My startup kept moving down because we were at a startup competition. Kept moving down until I was in the row right behind all the journalists, and it was a session with Bono, and it was also and he comes out, and they announce him, and he comes out with this swag, and he comes out there, and it was Jimmy Chamberlain, the drummer. This is really weird and Jimmy Chamberlain, formerly of the Smashing Pumpkins, I'm like, dude, what happened to him? He's got like a blazer on, hair's all slicked back, and I'm like, is that him? And he came out. It was a weird session, and one of the guys from the New York Times, who passed away a year later, he was a very famous dude. I don't know. I thought he looked a little bit slim on stage and scant, but he actually didn't. He kind of redeemed himself there because he had some pretty good answers to questions. He didn't seem like that royal douchebag you're talking about. So what do you hate most about him, though, Bono?
So there's been a couple of really famous artists that I've met from a sort of background with music and business and everything like that. So I've met U2, I've met the Chili's, I've met the Foo Fighters, I've met a fair few bigger artists. And Bono is the only person that I would say is a worse human being than Adele. And that's a big call. Like the way he treats people, the way that they treat people. I mean, the position I was in, I wasn't a roadie. You know what I mean? Like I was actually in a position that they should certainly not be talking to me like I'm scum, but they talk to everybody like that. Like everybody who isn't their direct, their partner or even these bandmates, man. Like, yeah, it's just, I have no respect for any artist or any human being. I don't care if you're Bill Gates or if you're a mentally disabled cleaner. Everybody should be treated equally, regardless. And when an artist, someone who should have a little bit of fucking humility, can't do that, I'm gone forever. Basically, that's I can't listen to the music anymore.
So that was it for you.
You have a lack of respect for the
VC
people.
funding or something. Sorry.
He did. It was right around that. I was talking about investing. Yeah. He made more money because he was an early investor in Facebook and Twitter, and he's a walking billionaire. And I guess that's the way. You treat people. I don't know. What is the one that there's an old saying that says you treat your character is displayed by the way you treat people that can't do anything for you. That's where it really comes to be. And so all right, well that's interesting. I didn't get to meet him. I just saw him up on stage. But any other famous encounters? Any other famous encounters, like people that are famous?
So I've met Slash. I had the chance. He was actually standing outside a tour bus smoking in an underground car park where he shouldn't have been smoking. And I walked out of an elevator and he turned to me. He went, sorry, mate, I'm not supposed to be smoking here. I was like, no, it's fine. He's like, Axel's on the bus. Do you want to meet him? And I was like, nah. He's like, yeah, I get it. And then we sort of parted ways.
I was like Guns N' Roses at a strip bar in 8 Mile in Detroit.
Nice, wow. There you go.
I swear to God, Axel stayed back in the limo, and the drummer, what's his name at the time, Matt Sorum? He had a booth with about 4 strippers, and then one of the roadies or handlers was walking Slash through because he was so trash he couldn't walk, and he was bumping into everyone, and he had a wad of bills, because of the strip club, and he's just like fumbling with bills, and bills are falling all over, and his handler's trying to walk him through the crowd. I think he was taking him outside. So it was after a Guns N' Roses concert. So we went right from the concert and ended up at the same strip club as they did.
Nice, good choice.
Interesting. Well, that's something you're not going to get on the DNI channel right there, people.
No, we don't talk
That's
about
right.
Jeff, I know you have had a couple famous encounters with some humans or non-humans. I don't know. Horses, pets. I don't know. A couple. Did you ever meet Johnny Cash? I'm just asking.
But once upon a time, yeah, I think I might have met Johnny Cash. No, no, it's interesting from a music perspective. You know, I think I'm kind of in the same area that you guys are in, but I listen to a lot of different things. You know, depending on mood. I could be driving in the car and put classical music on, you know, and then the next minute, you know, I've got, you know, heavy thrash metal going, you know, like some of the old school stuff, you know, and then you get like, you know, Anthrax or, you know, but I always seem to turn back to like Metallica, the Chili Peppers, Jane's Addiction. And then I could, you know, then I'll go to electronic music and then always bouncing around. You know, it's just mood driven, you know, so. Like,
what band have you seen the most in live? What band have you seen probably?
Man, I haven't seen a ton of live shows, you know, but the most memorable was Metallica, I think. I saw that in Detroit. They came a number of years ago. I went to see, I just saw, you know, just a cross section of different bands. But I'm trying to think, I don't know, So my dad's huge into Moody Blues, and so my sisters and I took him to a Moody Blues show in Miami, and that was interesting. You know, we were you know, half the age of we brought down the average age of everyone to about 60.
Nice.
It's just interesting, you know, because you know, you look at all these bands, you know, and it's just interesting seeing them get up on stage and rocking and doing all this stuff. And all these guys are in their 60s and, you know, some of them pushing early 70s and they're still out there jamming, you know. It just,
Jovi, man, like Jovi still belts it out. It's insane.
It's unreal. Yeah. Yep.
Well, even seeing Paul McCartney, I mean, Paul McCartney is amazing. I saw him like 2 years ago and, you know, I tell this story where I was excited because he was going to come, and it was actually a birthday gift for my wife. He was coming right before my birthday, and then all of a sudden I got a text or something saying they changed it. And, you know, growing up as a kid, looking at Beatles albums, staring at them for hours, because really there was really nothing. That and watching paint dry, there was not a lot to do, and watching reruns of Gilligan's Island, that was like my whole entire life. So that was like what I spent most of my time doing. And, you know, all of a sudden they changed it to my birthday, you know, and it's like, oh my God, I'm going to see Paul McCartney on my birthday. And I always thought when I was a kid, I was going to be dreaming like, you know, what if the Beatles sang happy birthday to you? Like, what if you had a birthday party and the coolest thing about the birthday party is the Beatles showed up and sang you happy birthday? I would be like, that would be so cool. This is like a little kid thinking this. And all of a sudden he gets up on stage. He's like, does anybody have a birthday? And I was like, but I was screaming like, wow. And so was everybody else. Apparently everyone else was on birthday, but it was so cool to see a little kid grow up and you're still a little kid at heart and have that same sort of like, holy crap. You know, it's weird the things you can imagine in life. And I'm like Paul McCartney singing happy birthday to me on my birthday, not to me necessarily, but there is something cool in that. And, you know, being a huge Beatles fan, you know, to me, you know, Abbey Road's still the greatest of all, you know, all times, and Big John Lennon as well. But I think there's so many bands we could probably do, you know, and I think we probably could do a long stream just on bands and evolution and stuff. But by the way, Jeff, I did see Metallica 3 times. The last time I saw them was in the 90s. And it was, you know, back in the day what's that?
With GNR, with Guns N' Roses, when they did that tour?
I'm trying to think of what it was. No, I know it was in Miami at a big field like down in Miami. It was, I don't remember, man, I'll be honest with you. Because I blend them together. But when I went down there to see them, there was like this big mosh pit. People started to go in there and, you know, banging off each other, and people were getting drinking and stuff. So I was just trying to cut through the crowd. I was like walking through there, and I got a guy like hit me, and then hit him back, and then he like elbowed me in the face, and then I uppercut him. He went. It was one of those ones you see on this thing where he went. And I was like, bro, I started looking around, and I started running. Next thing you know, I see they call them the medics, and they come down, they get him everything. Like, what happened over there? There's a lot of commotion. I'm like, I don't know, some guy fell. Some guy fell. What happened to him?
Some stuff happened. A guy became unconscious. We can't be sure.
I kind of punched him. I don't know. It was a weird thing, you know. But you know that rage if someone like hits you in the wrong spots, like poking a bear. You know, they just elbowed you like in the side of the head. You know. That stuff happens.
Yeah, you snap, see white, just yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Oz when you're on your stream and all of a sudden you just lose your shit. I love that. When he's like,
Right.
and that's some of the best highlights of the thing. Later on today for me, but tomorrow for you is when you start going off. That's the best, man, because you just hand a giant dose of truth and reality, which is good. You don't get too many detractors, do you, man?
DNI's always level-headed.
No, I don't.
You get some
I
love,
just
24/7.
No, I mean I get people in there. It's just if I see them, the people that are there legitimately aren't going to throw out an obviously stupid, trolling comment. So, the people that throw out trolling comments that are obviously trolls, not sarcastic humor. I just get rid of them right away. I don't do the 3-strike thing. I'm like, if you're going to throw out one obviously trolling comment, that's all you're here for. You're not here.
You obviously haven't had Baby Puss in your stream yet.
No.
Baby Puss?
He's a weird character. He's a weird character on the internet. Jeff, you'll have to send him a link.
Is that Rain's alter ego? Is that Rain's alter ego?
Yeah, that and Little Rain.
Little Rain.
Have you seen Little Rain?
Dude, that's hilarious.
Out the trailer. Yeah, that song he does straight out the trailer. That's been in my mind. Like I can't stop. I'll be like doing something straight out the trailer. It's like whatever. Anyway, he recorded this song. It's called Straight Out the Trailer, and it's just hilarious, man. But it's a little catchy, I have to say. It's gotten into my brain a little bit for sure, man. Well, so DNI, what do we do? Another hour, 2 hours? It's getting late for Oz there.
I know
He just started to get his.
Go straight through sunrise.
I know the door open. It's my daughter.
Straight to Oz's stream.
Right through, and now Oz, take it, Oz, and then switch channels. Right?
Just back to back.
Yeah, guys. So great. Thank you for joining the after show, which
cool.
We appreciate you guys here, man. It was really great fun tonight. Awesome. We'll have to have you back.
This is the first inaugural. After show.
Don't say that, Jeff. You sounded like it was like something we did.
After show.
But Jeff, you made it sound like we always do this. We always do an after show, and
yeah, I did. I thought you guys always do this.
Nah. We just haven't had a successful one.
We haven't recorded.
Somebody
one.
Actually hit record.
We actually haven't recorded
the after show. We
haven't recorded one.
I mean, perfect idea, man.
What happened on the last one? It was so freaking hilarious.
Well, you just had to cancel it out?
Oh, that's what we had. No, we just didn't hit record. So we had a great one that was going with Jerry Hall on and
XRP Carolina.
And, XRP Carolina. Oh my God, we're talking and so we were creating a logo for Jerry Hall. And he gave us his show name. He gave us everything, and then we returned the logo. Had a different name, everything different. Like, here's your logo, and here's the show name that we created for you. And he's like, oh, "Okay, that's awesome." And then
he goes, "Yeah." So it doesn't matter what you're thinking because these guys just created. Like, what do you think about this? And they changed everything. He was joking around about that, and we said, "Well, XRP Carolina is joining." The contributor list, and he has a new show. And Jerry's like, "Hey, by the way, what's your new show called?" And we said Crypto Conversations, which was the original name Jerry had for it. Oh man, I thought he was gonna lose it. Man, I've never seen anybody laugh so hard. He was busting up. But that was one of those moments where we go like, we gotta start recording this stuff. Because once the after show is where we have a little bit of fun and talk about silliness and and whatever, and we'll be there. But all right, man. Listen,
this is awesome, guys.
It was awesome.
I look forward to having you guys back on. Yeah, we'll definitely have you guys. We want to keep cycling, and getting people on a regular basis on the chain like this, and keep getting feedback, keep the camaraderie going. We think it's amazing.
Yeah, and like if Jeff and I can't make it, we have somebody else pop in, and we like I said, it's not really dependent on us. It's really dependent. Each conversation's different, and it's really a group of people, man. It's like you have the synergy, you play off each other, and no set real agendas. Sometimes we've scripted, so we're going to ask all these questions. We don't ask any of the questions. So a lot of the times, like, let's talk about this, and this. And you go, everyone has big plans. And maybe like, man, we didn't hit one of those questions. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. The key is just you guys are here. We're hanging together. We're having a good bit of fun and talking about the things that we love, Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash and XRP.
Man, there you go. So I might see that weave into one of your streams over the course of the next week, just by randomly just pop it out there.
Put him in the party bag, Johnny. Yeah.
No, random.
No, aren't you sorry you said that? Like, who is this troll? Chip, get out of here, you trolling bastard. Get out of here, you Johnny bagging. Well, I'm not going to get there, but, it's a new thing, Johnny bagging.
I was having a conversation the other day. Sorry, I know we're about to wrap this up, but I was having a conversation the other day, just a business-related conversation. And the co-founder and myself were having a conversation. He turned to me and he said, what do you think about all these new plans we're putting in place? How's it all actually operating? Is it going the way you want it to be? And the first thing that popped in my mind is the Mike Tyson quote, everybody has a game plan until they get hit in the face. And to then try and explain that in a business environment as to what I'm trying to say, you just summed it up. So it's like, everyone has the best laid plans, but it's like you roll with the punches, you do what you're going to do. And to be honest, being a part of it was hugely enjoyable. I'm sure people are going to enjoy the content. So, it's a win-win.
All right, so we sign off yet again, and this time I'm going to hit the proper button. Last time I didn't hit the button, killed everything. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hit the button. Chip, DNI, Oz Crypto, and Jeff out of here.
See you guys.
Out of here.
See you.
Thanks,
man.
man.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.